This is the Go Power Sports breather tank catch can kit. It's available in either aluminum, natural aluminum like this, or black anodized. I got the natural aluminum because I figure I'm gonna probably scratch it upon installation, so it'll be a lot less noticeable than on the black one. Comes with 2 clamps to clamp it to your frame, straight fitting, 90-degree fitting, and then a valve or petcock for draining. There's a couple different ways you can run this. I'm gonna put the drain here. Be careful with threading the plastic into the aluminum. So this will be, the valve will be on the bottom. The outlet will be on the top, should be like just the vent to atmosphere. And then inlet should be from the engine, will be in the side. I'm gonna put this 90-degree in the top, and then just put a piece of hose on it, and then run that down, and that'll be good. You can put a filter on it. I don't really feel like it's necessary in this application. And then you could just put the straight fitting in the side, and that'll go to your valve cover or whatever, depending on your engine application. But I'm gonna go a little fancier and actually put a -4 AN fitting in it, and then make a braided aircraft style line to go from the breather fitting on the engine onto this tank. It's probably a little overkill, but I have the parts and I think it looks pretty cool. On the drain valve, before the threads start, you can see there's kind of a standoff. I'm going to grind that off so that when it's threading the tank and you go to drain it, you can get almost all the fluid out. So I cut that standoff off and then radiused the inlet to the valve. So I got the catch can all ready for installation, all the fittings on it. Used Teflon thread sealer on all the threads. So it'll sit in the bike something like that. The clamp is way bigger than I need, so I'm going to mark it and cut it off shorter. Using some aviation snips to cut it off, and I'll take it to my bench grinder and radius the ends. So this is absolute overkill. And anyway that's done these knows how much money you gotta spend in building these lines, but I already had this line left over from something, so it was already half built. So I literally just got to cut the length and put one end on it. And I actually already had a 90-degree end to make this all work without having to buy any of the stuff. I mean, technically I did buy it already, I just had it left over from projects and didn't use it. So thread the one end on, and I'll thread the other end on. So I think these are kind of a must-have for working on these fittings and oil lines. It's aluminum jaws to go into your vise. They got a magnetic backer on them to hold them in place. They come in super handy for doing delicate work. Don't remember exactly where these came from. I've had them so long. I'm guessing probably Summit Racing. That's where I get my braided line and my ends from too. So I wrap the tape with my cut line right in the middle. You just got to be sensible. Don't put your face in the path of the cutoff wheel. Wear gloves. Wear safety goggles. Wear a face shield. The trick of this is to make sure that you're as square to the hose as possible. And you want a pretty good RPM so you get a clean cut. So then, a few years ago, I had a project that was going to require a lot of these oil lines to be made, so I spent the money and bought this kit, which gives you these things, which makes this job quite a bit easier. I mean, it's not the easiest thing, but this definitely helps. So this fit really loose in here, so I need to use this adapter. Put that on. See my mark. Clamp that in the vise. Put a little bit of wheel bearing grease. So I got a line on the hose, so I want that straight up to orientate with the fitting. There's all the way in. Put grease on the end of this and on threads to help with assembly. So as this threads in, it pushes the hose out into this ferrule to help lock it in place. Line's completed. I blew through it with brake cleaner and compressed air to make sure there's no debris in there from the assembly process. So now it should be ready to be installed. There's a breather hose installed. Don't really like how I have this sag here. Rather it was straighter. So if any oil mist that was in the hose, the collects would probably run back to the engine. But if I had the sag here, get a good puff of air out of the motor, it'll just blow it back to the breather tank. So I'm gonna try and cut this shorter. The nice thing about these fittings is that you can reuse them. It's a little tough, but they're pretty expensive, so it's good to know that you are able to do that. So we'll give that a try and see how it goes. Alright, so that's a lot better. Took about 3/4 of an inch out of the line. It would have been better to have a 45-degree angle fitting here, but these were left over from a previous project that I didn't use, and I didn't want to spend that kind of money to buy fittings for this bike. So that's why it is how it is. That's a lot better for what I wanted.